So if you haven't got a chance to check out the 21st MCU movie Captain Marvel, I'll go and check out my spoiler-free review first. That review is on my channel. This isn't really going to be a review of the film. This is just going to be some of the spoilery elements I didn't really want to talk about in my spoiler-free review. And yeah, if you watch my review, I had a lot of issues with the Captain Marvel, and it's probably one of the weakest ones in the MCU. But that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it overall. I still think it's a perfectly enjoyable, fun superhero movie, but it just could have been a lot better. So let's get straight in with some of the spoiler thoughts. There's a lot of things I like to comment on in terms of the MCU movies. For this first part, is the opening scenes and the ending scenes. The ending scene of this movie, I'm not talking about the end credit scenes, which I'll get into later, but the main ending shot of this scene is amazing. It features Nick Fury, and we get to hear the classic Avengers music, and it's really good, and he taps in the Avengers Initiative. It sort of gives us a little thing of where he got that name from, and I like that. I like some of the origin story with Nick Fury's character. Something I didn't like about his origin story is how he got his eye patch. It just became a little bit silly for me, and it sort of ruined the tension set up in Captain America the Winter Soldier in the first Avengers film, because when he lifts up his eye patch in Captain America the Winter Soldier, that really cool moment, and he says, "Last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye." And in this movie, that person he trusted was the cat, Goose. I liked how the cat was called Goose, like Captain Marvel flight jets, so it's sort of linking back to the movie Top Gun a little bit. I like that, but the alien cat thing I actually really liked. Stole the show in some scenes. But how he scratched out Nick Fury's eye was really well played for comedy purposes, but I don't think they thought it over that well. And there's a lot of other little things I said in my initial review. There was a couple little continuity issues for the MCU that bugged me a little bit. One of them is that the Tesseract plays a part in the third act of this movie. Why? How did it get on a Skrull ship when it was on Earth all the way from 1940s when Captain America clashed his plane all the way to when they first found it in the Avengers in 2012. So where in that time period was the Tesseract in space? Just a big issue I have there. If they explained a reason for it, I would have been fine. But I liked his little nod, like when I first saw the Tesseract, I was like, "Oh, that's the Tesseract, cool." But when I thought about it, I was like, actually, continuity, that doesn't make any sense. They could have explained it, if it had moved or something, but they didn't take the chance to do that, and there's a few other things they didn't also explain. Let's talk about the character of Captain Marvel. There's a couple little elements that I felt very, very rushed, and especially with her backstory. Her backstory just felt really rushed to me. And for an origin story superhero movie, I think this movie fails. As an origin story for like S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Skrulls, which I really like, Ben Mendelsohn's villain, the twist was that he wasn't the villain, he was the good guy, the Skrulls were doing it all right, and Jude Law's character was actually the villain. I liked that twist, and they really gave us the side of the Skrulls, and we really got to agree with them, and the Skrulls were the good guys, and I loved the Skrulls in this movie. I loved their powers, I loved Ben Mendelsohn in the movie. I just really liked the Skrulls, I understood their motivations. But I didn't understand Captain Marvel's motivations at all. I understood Nick Fury's, I understood the Skrulls, but I didn't know Captain Marvel's motivations. I also didn't know the Kree's motivations, the bad guys. And Jude Law's character, I thought, was pretty weak as the main villain. He was. We never got the motivation for why this war started. Why do they hate each other? What was so bad that the Kree and the Skrulls did? I don't understand. And the opening 15 minutes for me sort of tried to explain who the Kree were and sort of get us on their side as they are the protagonists. And the twist was it was good. I liked it, but they could have fleshed it out a bit more. But I did like how it added some humanity to the Skrulls. And some of my favourite scenes of the movie were some of the comedic moments with them, and some of the moments where it's just the Skrulls sitting down talking to Nick Fury or something. Let's talk about those two end credit scenes, because that's the thing I really want to talk about. The first one really leads into Endgame, but I feel like you don't need to see this movie to get ready for Endgame, because I feel that scene is going to be the exact same scene they show in Avengers. I bet they're going to show that scene in Avengers Endgame. Sort of like how they showed the end credit scene to Ant-Man, and then it ended up being in Civil War, just to let us introduce where Ant-Man would come into that movie. I think they're doing the exact same thing here. And Captain America's got his beard in there, So it looks like Captain America's going to have his beard for a little bit of time in Endgame. We get to see Bruce Banner, we get to see Rhodey, we get to see Black Widow, and then Captain Marvel, of course, shows up with Nick Fury's communicator thing, which I really liked. The camaraderie between Nick Fury and Captain Marvel was really good in the movie. I really liked some of the elements they did with there. Captain Marvel has this friend that she used to have, and I found her quite underwhelming. I think she could have been removed from this movie easily. Another main issue I had with the film was with Captain Marvel's sort of trainer when she was flying the jets. It sort of was a bit lacking. I didn't really care for her character. She kept cutting back to her character, and she's sort of the reason for Captain Marvel to become Captain Marvel. And I never really felt that Captain Marvel became a hero in this movie. And when it shows that scene where she's becoming it, it should have been cool. It should have been like, yes, finally we're getting some revitalization of her character. We didn't really get that. Some of the entertaining moments in the movie were fun. The scene on the train was really, really entertaining, with the old woman that we've all seen in the trailers. From the trailers to the movie, I feel that the trailer and the film sort of matched up. Like, I sort of got exactly what I was thinking from the trailers. I didn't really care for the trailers. I thought, okay, this could be fun, but I think there's a lot of stuff they're hiding. And there was, especially with the Skrulls and the Kree. But it was sort of as bland as the trailers showed it to be. So, yeah. Ronan is in the movie, which I already knew was in the movie because they showed him in the trailer. He had a few cameos. He was in a couple of scenes. That was really it. Her big showdown at the end I thought was very disappointing. It was just her blowing up some spaceships, and I couldn't really tell what was going on. Again, the ending scene I really did like. The second end credit scene, after they showed the one from Avengers Endgame, with Captain Marvel joining up with the Avengers, in the Avengers facility, was Goose the Cat spitting out the Tesseract on Nick Fury's desk. Just a little fun comedic moment, but still, I still don't think the Tesseract should have been there. So, you know, it was just to mention, towards the start of the movie, instead of having the normal Marvel logo, to sort of respect the homage to Stan Lee, they do the normal MCU intro with all of the Stan Lee moments, which is a little nice touch there. I like that they added that in. Yeah, I liked Captain Marvel. At points, there's definitely a disappointing movie for the MCU. They could have done a lot more for it, I thought, to make it better. But it's not a bad movie. It's pretty fun. It's fine. You know, I'd recommend seeing it if you're a Marvel fan. If you're not, I still think you can watch Endgame without having to see this movie. But they're just some of the little spoilery issues I wanted to talk about. That I didn't get to talk about in my original review. So guys, if you checked out Captain Marvel, tell me what you think down below. And of course, thanks for watching. Goodbye.